All right, we are live, ladies and gentlemen. All systems online. Excellent. Sweet. We're going to be looking at a nice trading day today. It's Thursday. It is not Friday, so it's not going to be manipulated. We're going to have some pretty nice price action going on today. We've got only one red folder news. So we're about to enter New York market open right now. I mean, the New York session is already open at this point right now. It just opened up a minute ago, and we're going to be looking for any possible setups or trying to understand what's going on with the market. How are we doing today? How's everybody? All good, I hope. Sweet, 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 sweet. All right, just organizing one little tiny detail. Awesome. All right. Perfect. Okay, so we're going to start off by looking at gold. And from that, we're going to move over into other pairs. We're going to be looking a little bit at Bitcoin, but mostly gold, stock market, Forex market, see what's going on today. So first things first, let's take a look at gold. Let's go look at the daily time frame. Let's see what's happening over here. All right. So it looks like price is trying to go higher. There was a nice daily time frame sweep happening right now. This could be a fake out, or it could just simply be a London session push. So we're about to investigate this further. So let's go on a lower time frame. 4 hour. All right, so what is happening in the 4 hour? The day started over here. And you could see the Asian session, it's created a range. You can see in this Asian session range, price did a nice sweep over here. The internal lower high that was taken out, this is precisely where price came down. It swept liquidity and it's going higher. So interesting enough, we can go look at a smaller time frame. 1 hour time frame, you can see that price simply just broke right through the lower high, but it closed above and it did not pass the liquidity sweep over here. You can see even this price struggled to go lower. It closed inside of the structure over here, and then it's taken off since then. There is a 1 hour imbalance created over here. All right, so this is technically over here a 1 hour time frame demand zone. 1 hour demand zone. Okay, so there is an imbalance over here. Fair value gap that hasn't been filled yet. FVG. I'll put this in the right. Okay. And then also FVG, also put that on the right. Okay, so we've got a fair value gap on a 1 hour time frame right now. Price looks like it's struggling to go higher, but the market just opened up. So we're probably going to see some retracements. We'll go down on the 30-minute time frame. What do we have over here? First of all, the internal higher high was taken out. So this level essentially is void right now. So let's go back on a higher time frame and see if we can mark any new levels over here. Let's see. All right, so we've got, let's see, we've got, all right, so we got a bearish push. Lower high gets taken out. This is only an internal lower high. This lower high needs to be taken out for gold to be bullish. All right. 1 hour time frame, lower high taken out, and then it's going higher. And over here you could see prices aiming higher and it's going higher. So there are no fair value gaps being formed. There's no displacement candles. It's just pretty much a low liquidity. It's kind of like a low liquidity choppy price action right now we've got going on with gold. I haven't traded gold in a couple of days, especially this week, simply because it just seems like gold is not really reacting in a way that I want it to be. It's not exactly in going to a direction where I'm hoping where it could go. So for now, I'm simply just speculating on gold. But there is a 1 hour imbalance that was formed. So let's just see what happens over there. Okay, we got a short-term high. So I'm gonna mark that short-term high. Okay, ST high is short-term. All right. So we go down to the 5-minute time frame, and you can see the FVJ. It hasn't been filled, so there's likely a manipulation that's going to be happening right now. As you can see, price is rejecting multiple times. You see these are like relative equal highs over here. I'll mark this zone. I'll also get rid of it stretching to the right. That way we can just have a cleaner look. Okay, you can see price is rejecting off of this level. So let's just add it. Equal high. All right, so 5-minute time frame, equal high. 5 minutes. Okay. So we're probably gonna see if we can catch a scalping position today on gold. So not looking to actively take a trade yet. I'm simply just speculating because we don't know what's gonna happen. If it comes down into the fair value gap, preferably the demand zone, that is where I'm going to be looking for setups. But as long as it's still up here, this is not an area, this is a premium area. So this premium area, I'm not looking to trade. All right. Premium zone, discount zone. So I'm only going to be looking for setups down over here, definitely not up over there. And we'll be using the 15-minute time frame. So let's see. Yeah, so for now, probably price is going to come back down into the fair value gap area to fill it. But it would be even better if price could come down to the discount zone. So possibly if I'm going to take a trade, here is the setup that I'll be looking for. I'm going to be looking for longs right over here with stops right below over here, targeting a clean 4-to-1 risk to reward ratio. That's what I'm planning to do. If price comes down over here, that is the setup I'm looking for at gold. All right. As precisely what I'm looking for on gold. All right, so next thing, we're going to be looking at Bitcoin. So let's see what's going on with Bitcoin. Okay, so up we go. 4 hour. All right, so as you guys can see, I've had a trade open right above over here. This trade was open since yesterday. I mean, no, it's been open since when? It's been open for quite some time. I've had it open for a couple of days. And we're going to look exactly at where I opened it. So I opened it right over here. Okay, I'm going to leave this marked out over there. So I had this trade open, the one that's right on top of you guys over here that you can see visibly above. I've had this trade open since precisely since March 8th, since Sunday. Only because it came back and it's hit the relative equal low. It's formed a relative equal low. You can see the clean rejection over here. And I entered exactly after the rejection because the retracement and the rebouncing gave me the sniper entry. Once that's taken off, I've noticed some retracements at the top of the consolidation box, which has been in consolidation literally since February 5th or 6th. Okay, so we've been in consolidation since the first week of February. And because of that, this consolidation box is quite important. It's respecting a lot of resistance and supports, so price keeps bouncing off inside of the box. And since it came and did a liquidity sweep at the bottom of the box, and it's also created a relative equal low, and the retracement and rebouncing that's been happening over here, this was a clean sniper entry for me. And because this is a clean sniper entry for me, I have found an opportunity to take a sell trade. I mean, I didn't sell it, but I just closed the position. I simply closed the position. You can also see that there is a relative equal low formed over here on the 4 hour time frame. So equal low 4 hour, right? So this is a healthy sign that price is not trying to push any lower. So are we going to go lower from here? Probably not. But there is always that possibility for another liquidity sweep. I do believe that another sweep is inbound and it's probably going to be happening sometime this week. Can't say when or can't say for certain, but I got a feeling. All right, so let's take a look at a lower time frame. Actually, wait, before we go on a lower time frame, let's mark out some levels. So we're going to mark over here, okay, short-term low, okay, and then over here is the short-term high, right here. Short-term high. All right, need to stretch this out a bit so it's in line with the short-term low. Perfect. So we are kind of like in a box right now, which is precisely where price is. Let's lock it. We've got 75% over here secured. Okay. Let me just actually move this. Let's move this level and move this text over here. That way it's right there and we can clearly see what's going on. All right, so now we're going to be looking at the short-term high, which is right over here, and the short-term low. Price is very likely going to be bouncing off between these two. Right now we're in the middle point, so definitely don't look for any setups on Bitcoin right now, guys. Definitely don't look for any setups whatsoever. It's not a place for you to trade. You want to look for a buy setup. This is where you need to buy 66,734. That is precisely where price is going to be going down to. It's not going to go any lower than that. I have a very strong feeling that it's just going to be going higher from over here. I don't think it's going to go any lower. So if we're going to look at the position that I have, you can see over here that, where is it? So I'm in this trade. I've already secured a big chunk of my profits, as you can see. I've already secured 75%, and I've let the rest run right now. Let me just stretch it out a little bit so you guys can get a bigger picture. Okay. For me, price was definitely like rejecting. I mean, you could see the rejection pretty clearly, right? It's entered a zone over here, and it's just getting rejected multiple times. So because of that, I simply just entered the trade, and I sold off my big position. I'm up $1,576 yet, and that's just 25% running, but I've already secured the big bucks, so I'm pretty secured on that end. So you can see order history over here. That is the position that I've already secured. That position right over here, this is where I've secured $4,800 clean by closing 75% of that position. All right, so very clean TP over here. But I still have 1,500 running, and I'm letting it run all the way up to 100K because I've already done the move. I've already taken my profits. I've already secured what I wanted to secure. I don't need anything else besides that. So I'm pretty solid on that regard. So let's get back to the charts and look at something different. Okay, so now we can take a look at Ethereum. Ethereum is probably retracing the same level as Bitcoin. So Bitcoin's kind of consolidated right now. So Ethereum is as well. There is a short-term high over here. Let me just mark that. Short-term high. All right. And this is a short-term low right over here. Okay. Short-term low. So as long as price is bouncing off between these two levels, I wouldn't be taking any trades unless and until price comes off of any of these levels over here. So be careful not to take any trades early because you don't want to rush the process. You want to keep things nice and simple and smooth. All right, so next thing, we're going to be looking at the NASDAQ. What is going on with the NASDAQ? So we've seen that the NASDAQ is actually rejecting off of this level over here. All right, you can see that it's come off the consolidation box and it's completely rejecting right now. The price is going lower. So let's add some lines to the chart just so we can see what is going on and how can we enhance it and make it better. All right, 1 second. Just setting up my alerts on my phone simply because when price does what it does, I want to be notified because I got all my notifications on my phone. So it'll be nice to simply be prepared. Okay. So now that we have NASDAQ open, let's draw some lines. So price is definitely going in a downtrend, right? So we've got a downtrend. All right. So we got this lower high over here. Okay. No, this is actually a higher high. Okay. So let's just start marking it. Higher high. All right. And then price comes down and it took out this lower high over here. Okay. So we're going to mark that. Okay. Lower high taken out. Now we are in a downtrend. Okay. You can see price respected off of this level. Lower high. Let me rephrase that. I meant to say higher low. Higher low taken out. All right. So we've got a higher low that was taken out. And now we want to see price going lower because the lower high was taken out. So it's expected to go lower from here. So price is going lower. Lower high respected. It's gone down. We stretch out another lower high over here, which you can see is also being respected. This was a market open or a market close actually right over here. So it did go up briefly, very briefly. Okay. The price came down and it's completely dumped. So lower high over here. So I'm not going to consider this as a lower high that was taken out. I'm just going to call it a lower high over here. Now price, as you can see, okay, right over here, it's going down, imbalance fill, it's gone lower. All right, so lower highs over here. This is the level that matters. Price is rejected off over here. These are relative equal highs. You can see it on multiple occasions. So we are still bearish. Price comes back down. As long as it doesn't break this level over here, we are bearish. So this lower high was taken out over here. So we're going to add just a couple of more lines, but you need to get in on a deeper scope. All right, so it's very choppy. I really don't like trading inside a consolidation box, guys. This is like a big no-no for me, but I'm going to chart it anyway to the best of my ability because for me, trading inside the zone, inside the box is a big red flag. So I wouldn't be too comfortable doing this and taking trades over here, but it's better to be, it's better to have a plan. It's better to be extra vigilant on that note. So we're going to be looking at price going lower over here. Imbalance fill, which is a perfect, nice imbalance fill. We've got relative equal highs over here. Okay, and then price completely comes down. All right, so lower high, rejected, came back down, rejected, price is going down. So overall, this is the only level that matters. This lower high over here, it's super important. Okay, it didn't technically break because it did break over here briefly, but then it just completely went down. So it doesn't exactly count anymore. So this lower high is a level of importance, of significance, and you can actually draw another box inside over here, all the way up over there, and stretch it out because that would be your supply zone. Okay, supply zone. All right, let me stretch it out all the way inside here. So we got a supply zone. Price is going lower. All right. We got price going lower. And then from there, you could see what's going on. We got lower high over here, lower high. Nothing interesting. No higher high taking place. There was a bit of an imbalance over here. Price went higher, but overall we're in the bearish structure. Relative equal highs over here. Price completely dumped, stayed inside the box, closed perfectly inside the box because it respected this level over here. So now price is kind of looking like it's going to go lower from here. I anticipate that NASDAQ is probably going to go lower. So let's go on a 1 hour time frame to get a better scope. So you could see that price, it actually broke this low over here. All right. we've got an internal structure over here where price actually broke this level over here, right? You can see it very clearly. This level broke, it created an imbalance, and the imbalance got filled, all right, on a 1 hour time frame, and now price is crashing. So now here, short term, higher low taken out. Okay, now on a 1 hour time frame, okay, so if you're thinking all this random gibberish letters, don't be confused, guys. It's just the way I do like abbreviations. So 1H is 1 hour, ST is short term, and HL is higher low, and TO is taken out. So 1 hour, short term, higher low taken out. This is what have happened over here. And now from that, price has created relative equal highs. That's one confluence is that the short term higher low got taken out. Second confluence is that relative equal highs were formed. Okay, and there's third confluence is that there are rejection wicks here and here. So price is simply not going higher. All right, so now that we have all of this going on, the third confluence is this imbalance gets filled right over here. I'm low-key kind of upset that I missed this move. All right, because this was in London session, and I usually don't trade the Nasdaq during the London session. I always wait until New York session, but this would have been a nice clean entry because very likely, very likely price is probably going to come down all the way down over here into this demand zone. And I've talked about this several times that it is very likely. I'm very optimistic of the fact. I mean, it could be pessimistic, but for me, I'm more optimistic about it because I have a very strong feeling that the stock market is absolutely going to crash in the coming days, weeks, or months, but it's probably going to be weeks because we've been in consolidation since October 7 of 2025. And that is a very long time of consolidation. It's October, November, December, January, February, March. We've been in consolidation for 6 months. Price does not have a trend. However, we are seeing price more aggressively having a sharp push to the downside. So that is why I have a very strong feeling that the stock market is going to dump. And I called it, guys. I called it. You're going to come back to me later and say, "Goddamn, Faisal, you're right." And I'm going to say, probably should have sold. So the big short is going to be coming in soon. I know I'm going to be shorting the stock market because I have a very strong feeling it's going to dump. The only question is, when is it going to dump? That is the hard part. That is the hard part of trying to anticipate when these big movements happen. Because you know, when the big short does happen, you're not going to get candles like this. You're going to get a red candle that is going to span from all the way up here, and it's going to come all the way down here. Like within 1 hour, you're going to have a massive red candle up from here all the way down here. So you're going to be having an issue dumping all the way down over there. So Nvidia, I think it will dump. Yes, I agree. How you doing, Sheen? I also agree. I think that Nvidia is going to dump. So we're going to take a look at that. So that's my analysis on the Nasdaq. We'll just quickly look at it on 15-minute time frame before we go ahead and move to Nvidia. So 15-minute time frame, you could see that price is rejecting off a little bit. So maybe a form of manipulation is going to be happening soon. I'm holding my guns, not taking any trades in the next 5 minutes because in the next 5 minutes we do have the news coming out. So let me just quickly take a look at the news. Let's see. Let me pull out the news. All right, so we've got unemployment claims, as you can see over here. The news came out, and the actual is almost exactly the same as the forecast. So it's not a green folder. It's not a red folder. Overall, it's neutral. So now this just shows you that price is not reacting to any fundamentals. It's simply reacting directly on price action. So let's come back to the charts. You could see that the manipulation is happening pretty aggressively right now. I have a very strong feeling that the stock market is going to go down. So let's see. You've got a imbalance over here on a 5-minute time frame. All right, this imbalance over here is precisely where I'm going to be looking for a short position with a small stop loss over there. Okay, so here is what it's going to look like. I'll be placing an entry over here and placing a stops just above there. And then my TP is going to go all the way down over here. So this will be a clean 14-to-1 risk to reward ratio that I'm looking to take a trade of this today. So let's see what happens. If price gets to that level, we can have a nice hip hip hooray. Now, let's take a look at NVIDIA. What is going on with NVIDIA? So, normally I don't chart NVIDIA. I don't chart individual stocks. I only do the NASDAQ or the Dow Jones or the S&P 500. These are the only stocks I chart, where it's like a combination of everything together. However, I don't particularly trade NVIDIA individually. Like, I don't do individual stocks. I do group stocks, because the thing about individual stocks, they're closed. Throughout the day, they're closed, and they only open during New York session. During London session, they're closed. During Asian session, they're closed. So the only time they open up is during New York session. So we can take a look at it. We can draw some lines on it. But overall, I don't particularly trade. I mean, this is pre-market, so it's still closed. The market will open up in exactly 30 minutes. Why is because I don't like, personally, I don't like choppy price action. You'll pay it, like, if you notice, you'll see that the candles are choppy. They're kind of like, you know, they're spaced out. There's constant spaces between them. There's a gap here, there's a gap here. It just keeps getting gapped out every single day. Why? Because the market is only going to be open for, like on a 4-hour time frame, it's just going to be open for 3 candles. You see this gap over here, this gap over here. So 3 candles. When you see this light, like gray, like the sandy color, caramel color line, that's when the market's actually closed. See, this is the whole period where it's closed, and it's only open during New York session because it's an American tech company. And since it's an American tech company, they only open and share their reportings and the information of the stock and how it's doing and how it's performing during New York session. However, I like to trade, for example, I'll show you right now. I like to trade the NASDAQ, okay, because the NASDAQ is always open. And since it's always open, you're going to see that price is always online. Then the NASDAQ is a combination of 100 US stock markets open at the same time. And the same thing with the Dow Jones. If you look at the Dow Jones, it's the top 30 companies all open together. You'll only see gaps because of the market closed for 1 hour or over the weekend. I mean, this is the weekend gap, but it's going to be like a 1 hour, 1 hour gap between market close and market open. So I prefer to do that. It's a lot safer. It's a lot better. And yeah, let's see what's happening with gold. Okay. Wow, guys, this is a clean imbalance fill. Look at that. This is perfect. Price comes in and it filled the imbalance perfectly. The fair value gap gets filled absolutely perfectly. So right now there's a very high chance that gold is actually going to go higher from over here. So I'm going to go ahead and see if I'm going to take a entry position over here. So just to accumulate some profit margin. So we'll see. We'll see if we can scalp this position over here. The fair value gap gets filled, but I'm hoping price comes down into the demand zone, because the demand zone would be the best place to enter a trade. Like, the demand zone is particularly the absolute best place to enter a trade. So let's see if price can actually come down to the demand zone so we can have some nice clean setups over there. So let's hang on to our hats and hope that that's the case. All right, so let's go ahead and look at some Forex pairs. So we're going to look at Euro USD. You can see that in Euro USD right now, price has entered the demand zone. So this is a nice place to look for buy signals. Price has come down into the demand zone and it's completely rejected. Completely. All right. Yep, it's entered the demand zone. So now we're looking for long positions for Euro USD. All right, so let me mark that for you guys. We've already entered the demand zone. This is where we'll be targeting over here. And stops is simply just below. So we have a nice 5-to-1 risk to reward ratio for Euro USD. And that's what it looks like. Yep. Perfect. So the levels were already marked. We could see that this lower high was taken out. So price has come up over here. So it's taken out. Now it's been bearish. It's just done a clean liquidity sweep over here. Price is going higher, creating higher highs and higher lows. And it came down just for a small liquidity sweep. And now it's probably going to go higher from here. There's a high chance for it to go up. If it doesn't and it fails and it goes down, that's okay. No problem, because this is a small risk compared to the reward. So there will always be another setup. Same thing with GBP USD. Nothing is going on. No trades for GBP USD. As you can see, it's far away from the demand zone. So it's nowhere, absolutely nowhere near any setups to take right now. We do have relative equal lows on the lower time frame, but it's always better to look for setups on the higher time frame. You don't want to be caught taking small trades only looking at the lower time frame, because the higher time frame is where price is always reacting towards. So the higher time frame is gold, guys. So we can start to see that price is starting to move. We have some moves that are happening right now. So that's interesting to see. All right. I'm looking for a retracement on the Nasdaq. So let's see how that goes. I'm hoping the Nasdaq could actually retrace and come back higher, just so we can have some clean setups over there. Yep. All right. So let's take a look back at gold. Gold is coming down into the liquidity zone again, taking another sweep. If it closes below this fair value gap over here, if gold closes below this level over here, then we have a very high the probability of the price going lower into the discount zone is going to be much higher. If this candle over here in the next 11 minutes closes below this level, we are bearish until it goes to the demand zone. If it goes towards the demand zone over here and it breaks below it, then this setup fails completely and we'll need to look for another setup. If it breaks past the discount zone over here, it's going to go down and it's going to come back to the internal lower high that was taken out over here, and then we can find a sell setup. So if this position gets stopped out, we're going to be looking for a setup all the way down here to cash in all the losses we've accumulated over here. So 4-to-1 risk to reward ratio and also 4-to-1 risk to reward ratio. So even if you're wrong in this trade and that trade and they both don't work out, there's always another day where you can scale back and keep your profits always in check. Once you place your stop loss, guys, remember it's always important to never play around with your stop losses. Once it's set, you gotta forget it. All right, so let's see what's happening. We've got gold, it's coming down. It's entered the fair value gap cleanly, and it seems like it's rejecting off of it. So it's just sweeping liquidity right now. So we'll just have to wait and see what's happening over here. While we wait for price to make its move, all right, let's take a look at the news. Okay, let's take a look at the news. All right, let's see. So like I said earlier, I'm still in Bitcoin buys. I'm just holding on to this position. I want to see it go higher. There is a retracement going on right now, so I'm just holding on. I've already closed 70% of my trade, and you could see at the very top, I was already at $7,000. So I've already closed 70%, and right now I've only got 25% running. So let's take a look at some news and see what is going on in the world. So for starters, we already looked at this unemployment claims. The actual and the forecast is almost identical. So nothing has actually changed. So price is only reacting to technical analysis. There's no actual crazy movements going on. It's just purely technical analysis. And what is an unemployment claims? Why do like it's the number of individuals who filed for unemployment insurance for the first time during the past week, and it's like the first time in their life. So actual less than forecast is good for currency. So since actual is literally the same as the forecast, it's good for currency. So overall, like it's not really, it hasn't changed. At 213, 214, it doesn't. There's no really significant. There's no real significant changes on that accord. So why do traders care about it? Because it's a lagging indicator, sure, but the number of unemployed people is an important signal of overall economic health because consumer spending is highly correlated with labor market conditions. Unemployment is also a major consideration for those steering the country's monetary policy. So again, it's important to show if the US dollar is doing good or not. It's pretty straightforward. All right, so the next thing we're going to be looking at is some crypto news. Let's just see what is going on in the world of crypto. So let me refresh the feed just so we can get some information on that accord. All right, so the ledger, latest crypto news. Let's see, one day ago. We want to see it refreshed right now. Alrighty, so 15 hours ago, Ledger researchers expose Android flaw. I feel like this is not the latest news. There's no way 15 hours ago is the last news. I don't think that makes any sense. Well, it says it's the latest news. So 15 hours ago, Ledger Research exposed Android flaw enabling wallet seed theft. So people on Androids are getting their wallet stolen, it seems. Binance Wall Street Journal lawsuit. The crypto exchange sues Wall Street Journal over defamatory Iran sanctions report. So the Wall Street Journal is infamously known to spread biased information. So I guess Binance just did a lawsuit against them. Very interesting. Oracle glitch causes $27 million in liquidations. That is not good. Arthur Hayes deploys net liquidity strategy, not buying Bitcoin now, even if he has only $1. All right. Ethereum USD funding rate turns negative as bears regain controls. Hyperliquid jumps following margin upgrade. Google's Gemini AI predicts the price of XR. People have already seen this. So basically, not much going on. The SEC and the CFTC end regulatory turf war with joint crypto coordination deal. Let's take a look at that. So the SEC and the CFTC have signed a formal memorandum of understanding to coordinate digital asset oversight, ending years of jurisdiction conflict that forced crypto firms to navigate competing regulatory demands. So this is a very nice sign, to be honest. So the CFTC and the SEC are finally aligned. So this is good for any potential crypto investments from the US dollar. So this is really good. This is really good news, guys. Really, really good news. All right. So what else can we take a look at? We'll go back. Oil surges near $100, stalling Bitcoin breakout. Interesting. Oil is currently on a retracement. We're going to look at the charts any second now. Once we're done looking at the news, we're going to look at the charts. Actually, let's take a look right now. We'll see what's going on with oil. Where is the charts? Where is the chart? I don't see you trading view. There we are. Okay. So, let's take a look at oil. All right. So, higher time frame. All right. So, price broke out because of the war. It reached $120 basically. I mean, 119, but let's round it up to $120. It's come back down. It's fell in bounces, even though usually price does not respect imbalances on oil. Oil is purely fundamental. So the likelihood of it respecting the supply, demand, imbalances, it's very unlikely. It's purely a fundamental price action. So you can see rejection and then another sweep over here, and now it's aiming higher. So oil prices are definitely looking to go higher from over here. So we're probably going to start seeing price of oil going all the way. Based on what Iranians are saying, they're saying they're going to push the price of oil all the way to $200. You know what that means? If price of oil goes up to $200, it just means that we're going to have a global recession because companies, they cannot handle that kind of price action. The last time we saw price action reach to that level, it was $130, and this is 2022, and this was a pretty rough time. I mean, I think this is when the Russia-Ukraine war started, if I'm not mistaken. So, really not a good sign. 2008 crash does not show. TradingView does not let us see it. So definitely a breakout, relative equal low. We're looking at it on a monthly time frame, relative equal lows. Price is just going to break out over here. So it almost feels like it's planned, guys. I don't know why, but I've got this intuition where it's kind of just telling me that everything just seems like it's pre-planned somehow. So yeah, so let's just see what happens with oil. All right, so let's go back on the news. So let's see. All right, so Ethereum scarcity index turns positive. Bonk Fund website hacked. What is Bonk Fund? That's interesting. Is it like a gaming website? The official website for the Solana meme coin launched by Bonk Fund has been hijacked. A malicious actor seized control of the domain on Wednesday, deploying a wallet drainer disguised as a standard interaction. Guys, that is not good. It's really not good. The platform team has issued an urgent warning. Do not interact with the website until further notice. So if anyone is connected with Bonk Fund, they should truly just avoid using that website, guys. I'm looking at it right now. It's not looking too good. So highly advise you guys, if you're interacting with Bonk Fund, just don't use the website because it seems like it is going to liquidate your account. That's what worries me about these altcoins. I'm not really a huge fan of these altcoins because they kind of do these things quite often, more often than not. So it's kind of concerning. It's really concerning. Really concerning. Yeah, definitely concerning. So, yeah, just be careful, guys. Don't expose yourself that way. Don't take the risk. Don't leave your account to such an exposure. All right. So what else can we look at? Let's see. We can go back out. China's DeepSeek AI predicts the price of XRP. We've already seen that. So let's go ahead and look at some financial news. U.S. futures point lower as oil prices spike amid escalating Iran conflict. So as we already know, we've talked about this. The futures market, specifically the stock market, is going to be trickling lower, as I said, as price of oil is going up. Companies cannot handle the logistical costs of it. So because companies cannot handle the logistical cost of it, you're going to start seeing price of oil is going to go higher and the price of the stock market is going to go lower. So that being said, you got to be cautious and careful on that regard. So what else can we see? US oil majors inch higher, pre-market dollar general slips. Let's take a look at what's going on with gold real quick, just to see, because we've just reached the 15-minute mark. So let me open the chart for you. Let's see, did it close lower? Yes, it did. In fact, it closed... Actually, wait, hold on. It didn't. Interesting price action. Price actually went exactly over. You see, it did not close lower. So right now what's happening here, price could actually extend all the way down over here into the discount zone before going higher. It just seems like it completely respected this level of resistance over here. So we're probably going to see this price either take off and go up all the way up to the premium zone over here, or it's probably going to come down into the discount zone because it's protected by this low over here. So we're going to probably see a sweep down into the discount zone over here before price actually goes higher. So it'll be very interesting to see what's going on with price action in the coming 15 minutes once again. So let's just hang on and see what's going on. Alrighty. Alright, so coming back to the news. Super exciting. I love price action that looks like this. Really, really love price action that looks like this. So that's a pretty cool feature. See undervalued stocks. I'm looking at investing.com, guys. So it's a nice website to see what's going on in the world of the stock market and whatnot. It's got all the news that you need, so it's pretty good. It's a pretty good website to get some information about just everything you need to know. You got stock screener, the United States market, pre-market, after hours, Warren AI, which they've added some AI feature to it, stockbrokers. Everything is just pretty cool. So let's see the stock market. I'm currently in a trade with the stock market I've mentioned earlier. It's absolutely dumping right now, guys. The stock market is simply crashing. So let's take a look at that on the charts. Stock market is absolutely crashing. So I've had a nice trade over here that I sold. This is where my entry was. My stops are already at break even. And I'm in this trade currently right now, and it's simply just pushing lower. So if it creates another imbalance over here after this low over here, let me just mark it out for you. If it breaks this level over here, all right, and it creates another low, it's tapping into that level right now as we speak. But if it creates another imbalance, I'm going to be looking to add another trade inside of my trade. So we'll see what happens. So far, it looks really good. Super satisfied with the setup. I've completely secured my profits right now. So let's see what happens in the next 15 minutes. So gold, as you can see, again, it is just simply retracing. It's targeting lows. It's going a bit lower. But if it keeps going any lower over here, I'll probably say that it's targeting the demand zone. It simply just touched the demand zone over here. It's reacting. It looks like it possibly could go up. This could be just a sweep, guys. Don't take any trades yet. We are still heading towards the discount zone. So gold looks like it's coming back down hard. So we've got relative equal highs over here and relative equal highs here. We need to see some form of rejection, some sort of reaction going on over here. We want to see what exactly is happening, because if price does some clean movements over here and it breaks lower, then we have a clean move all the way down over here to 5,016. If it rejects off over here, then we have a clean move all the way to 5,300. So we are literally at a point right now where we're simply deciding on what happened. Stock market, I've taken a trade. I will share it in Telegram and in Discord. So be mindful of that. We'll be sharing my trades over there. But at the same time, looking at gold right now, I'm not taking any trades because overall we are still, as you can see, we're still in a consolidated area. Price is not really, it's not good price action. It's not clean price action. We're only looking at a internal equal high, which is not as powerful as one would anticipate, but we do have a discount zone on a 1 hour time frame. So that is something that I'm definitely super excited to see what's going on in that time range. All right. We could see the price of gold is simply going lower. It's pushing aggressively. We've got 15 minutes. We got 10 minutes until price closes. So we're going to see what's happening over here. We could see rejection going on. Is it going to hold this rejection? Usually a massive red candle like this with no wicks means a reversal comes. Usually, not always, but usually when you have a candle like this with no bottom wick and no top wick, and it's just a chunky red candle, their price usually reverses. This is just something I've noticed. I mean, I'll give you another example. I mean, you're seeing it happening right now as I called it. Here's another example. Price over here, no top wick, no bottom wick. And then from there, price aggressively went up. Same thing over here. No top wick, no bottom. I mean, there's small kind of wicks, but you kind of don't see them. So no bottom wick, no top wick, price reverses. You're going to see this repeat plenty of times. If there are wicks, it doesn't reverse, but there are If there are no wicks, I mean here it doesn't do it, right? So you can see no top wick, no bottom wick, the price goes down. It tried to go higher, but it failed and it went back down. So it's not always the case, but it's like a 70% of the time case. Here's another example. Price almost no top wick, definitely no bottom wick, price went up. So, and this applies the same with a bullish candle. Like if we have a bullish candle that's got no top wick and no bottom wick, it's going to bring a bearish push. So just a extra thing I noticed, you guys. So the more you know, right? So yeah, price is definitely doing some pretty cool movements. I'm really satisfied with my trade on the Nasdaq. I could have held it, but then you can see the clean rejections off over there. So these are short-term lows. So I've already scalped. I've already secured my profits. I'm super satisfied with my setup. Today I've secured a profit of 1,178. So I'm pretty satisfied on that regard. So let's see. We'll be posting these results, guys, on the Telegram and on Discord. So be sure to stay tuned and get connected. You can use the Telegram. Right there, you can see it in the QR code. So just get connected on the QR code over there. Get in touch with me, learn something new, be a part of a trading community that's actively growing and looking to expand. All right, so yeah, price action is pretty good. We can clearly see some pretty nice moves. We'll just hang around, or I guess we're going to hang around until we see what price is trying to do. Usually I like to go on the 15-minute time frame. I don't like to go 5 minutes unless you get choppy price action. But 15-minute time frame is the absolute king of time frames. The Nasdaq is trying to push and break past this low. There was a rejection wick over there. So what we're hoping to see is price break lower. Okay, you can see on the 1 minute time frame there was an imbalance fill, so it could actually go lower from here. But we don't want to sign up on anything just yet. We just need to be patient and for price to come back at least inside this range over here. This is the range. I'm going to mark it on a 1 minute time frame. This is the range where we want to see price coming back to. Okay, so if we see price coming back over there, we'll definitely take a heavy sell position. And if you want to take a smaller sell position, we can see price coming down to this level over here. So these are two areas where you can enter a sell position if price breaks below this low, because we're going to be seeing retracements. Not always the case, but very likely the case. So let's be patient and see what happens. So gold has hit the demand zone on the 1 minute time frame. You can clearly see it is aggressively dumping right now. If price breaks past this discount zone over here, we're going to be seeing some important sell setups. But if it doesn't break past this level over here and it just goes higher, then we're going to see retracement effects. So we simply want to see some nice bullish momentum over here. Gold has been acting weird. There is an active war period going on right now, so it's expected to go higher. However, it is not. It is acting weird. It is choppy. So choppy price action on gold during times of peak escalation is very interesting to see. So let's see what's going on. Price is rejecting off of this liquidity over here. We can see on the 15-minute time frame, this liquidity over here is reacting positively for gold. It's having some rejections over here. Price is likely going to go higher from here because this was a nice clean liquidity sweep fill. It literally come to the same level it's rejected. And let's mark it on the chart. Okay, we'll put a small short-term low over here. But you can see it's literally very close to touching it. It hasn't touched it, but it's actually at the same level of resistance. So price is probably going to go higher from here. Let's see what happens. I love this. This New York session live price action is super exciting. We've got an imbalance fill on a 1 minute time frame. You can see that over here, from there to here, imbalance fill. Price is refilling it again. Is it going to go lower? I don't know. But this is a very important key level for anyone to enter a buy trade. If you're looking to buy gold, this is a very nice key area because your stops are literally just below the demand zone. It's literally just below it. So it's a very small stop loss area. So let's see. I'm going to place a buy entry over here with stops just below. So now we have a 4-to-1 risk to reward ratio. I have entered a gold trade over here. All right, as we were speaking, I've entered a gold trade over here. So let's see what happens with price action, if it's going to retrace over here, and if this is just simply a liquidity sweep. So let's see what's going on with price action over here. Let's see what is going on with price action over here. So let's see. We'll be patient. We need to see what's going on with the price action. Small trade I've entered over here. So there is a buy position that I've entered over here. Just a tiny position. Literally just a 0.2 trade that I've entered. If it goes down any lower than this level over here, this is where my stops are going to be. This is where I'm going to be getting out of this position. So looking to get out of the position right over there in this level over here. That's it. So I'm expecting a retracement over here. So we're literally live trading right now during times of uncertainty. Gold has done a sweep. We know that gold is overall bullish. Gold wants to go higher. So we're going to be seeing what price action is going to be bringing to us right now. So this is what I'm looking at right now. You just got to be patient, guys. Price will do what it does. We just simply need to be patient and wait for price to do its thing. All right. Simply waiting for price to make a move right now, guys. Let's see what happens. Only waiting to see price make a nice push right now. We're on we're literally 30 seconds away for the new hour, which is where liquidity spikes usually comes in at this time. So I have my buy positions ready. I've entered a trade, and let's see. Let's see what's going on with price action right now. Is it going to go higher? It looks like it's doing a nice clean push. So let's wait and see. This is a wait and see game. Price is definitely going to where I'm anticipating it to go. So let's see. If it comes back down and it hits stop loss, then it is what it is. We'll find another setup at another time. But for the time being, it looks like it's going in a way that I wanted to see. So you can see on a 5-minute time frame over here, price has closed bullish with a nice blue candle. So it might do a tiny sweep over here before going higher. So let's see. 15-minute time frame. All right, 15-minute time frame. There was a rejection, a wick over here. So this is respecting this liquidity sweep over here. So price is very likely going to go higher up to the equal high on this time frame over here. That's where I'm anticipating. That's where my trade have entered. Sniper precision entry. If it hits my stops, I am not upset because I am not over risking. I'm not over leveraging. It's a 4-to-1 risk to reward ratio. It's clean. Price is moving higher. So I'm just sticking to these rules. Simple rules on trading view. So trade, stick to your rules. You don't break your rules. Stay confident and secure your profits by sticking to your rules and not over risking, because the game is to keep your trades as healthy as possible by minimizing your risk. Now look at my risk plan. It's not about even being right or wrong, guys. It's okay to be wrong in trading sometimes. I get mistakes happening all the time. Like, I make bad trades sometimes. It happens. You'll see it live. But in times like this, what's the important thing? It's not about being right or wrong. It's about how much are you risking. You know, when I look at traders who are profitable and whatever, I never ask them how much money did you make. That's not a concern for me. For me, what's a concern is how much are they risking? What's their risk management skills? Because those are the ones who end up staying in the game the longest. These are the people who end up staying in the game, the trading game, the absolute longest. How much are they risking? That's the important question you need to ask any traders. So that's just what I think in terms of trading. How much are you risking? If you're risking a lot, you're not going to be profitable. If you're not risking a lot, you will be profitable. So that's what I think when it comes to trading with anybody in this space. So let's see what happens. All right, guys, I'll be signing out right now. Be sure to join our Telegram. The QR code is right there. Get connected with the group, ask the right questions, be part of the mentorship, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.